Hey everyone, it is Melissa with Sincerely Creative Mom. We have a super cute wreath sign here. It says welcome. You are probably seeing it backwards. I apologize for that. But it says welcome. It's got a super cute little rain boots with polka dots, yellow polka dots here, butterflies. It's really cute. And the words and the edge is glittered. So super cute. If you are looking for this as a kit, we happen to offer it all together. All the pieces that you're going to see here, exclusions, will mention them as we go along. And the kit is available. If you go to learnfrommelissa.com, you'll find our wreath kit section right at the top. You can click there. I am recording also overhead so that the overhead version will be uploaded onto our YouTube. So welcome, come on in. We're going to do a couple things first. We're going to prep first. The kit comes with a whole entire roll of this really cute. It's pink. This is more of a corally color, coral pink blend. This is pink and white. It's really nice. But I wanted to cut one piece with you just simply because it's got a fabric in it. So you really want to make sure, hey Linda, hey Tammy, you really want to make sure you are, putting pressure on the mesh. So I always weight it down with something that isn't going to, poke me, right? So I weight it down with something, and then it is 20 inches. So we want to cut it 20 inches long. And this is a rotary cutter. Again, I'm going to apply pressure pretty good. Uh-oh, I got to make sure I get... Uh-oh, I didn't turn off my... Well, hopefully no one calls me. I didn't put Do Not Disturb on. That's fine. Anyways, I'm going to go 20 inches, apply pressure right up the line. And you see, because it's got a like fabric in it, and I put pressure straight across. Now, I'm just going to make sure I don't pull those because they'll fray a little bit more. So if you have this as a kit, make sure you're just being a little bit extra careful. It's a really nice material. It's a nice mesh, but because it has fabric in there, it's a little bit harder. It also, hey Nancy Tompkins, it also, the more I cut on the 20 inch mark, the more I have like rivets in there, and it's not helping my situation. So keep that in mind. Nancy is coming to our private and exclusive. We have 4 more seats left. I haven't even told you. Nancy's coming to our Fill Your Creative Cup in May. It's the weekend before Mother's Day. We have a garland make and take, which is going to be incredible. So I'm super excited about that. Nancy came to our last Fill Your Creative Cup. Again, very private, very small group, but I'm really excited about it. Anyways, Nancy, I'm really excited. I was just today looking at other pieces for our garland. Hey, Lynn. Okay, so I have all the rest of the mesh already cut. So we're going to prep our sign next. Now, because this is a kit, your sign comes, I'm sorry, your sign, let me start over. Goodness gracious. Your kit comes with these zip tie mounts. I use them. Anybody else use them? I can't wait either. I'm really excited. Anybody else use these? They are very popular. I have had mostly good luck. I'll say that. I've had mostly good luck. I've had some bad luck. And of course that bad luck with these is at the wrong time. Could already be in the customer's hands, and I just try to avoid it. So your kit does come with these zip tie mounts. I'm going to show you. Hi, Candy. I'm going to show you how to use them. Y'all, if you're just joining in, please come on in and say hello. Welcome. Make sure you share this video to your page to always make sure you can find us again and all that good stuff. If you want notifications and when we go live again, you can type in all one word. Now, this is on Facebook, so if you're watching the overhead over on YouTube. This is only on Facebook. Type in the exclamation point in the word notify, all as one. And Facebook should send you notifications when I go live. All right, these come with your, drinking my protein coffee as I'm watching you. Aw, hey Candy. These come with your kit. They're called zip tie mounts. And here's how you apply them. You're gonna peel, you're gonna peel off the back. You're gonna peel off that 3M back. You're going to, please do this part, apply a teeny tiny little bit of what's it called? Hi, my name is Melissa and I forget my words. Apply a little teeny tiny amount of that extra hold, good gravy. The thing, super glue. I got it. Apply a little bit of that super glue and take this whole thing off and stick it to the back. Okay? Right? And then once you have it on there, remember your sticky parts off. Once you have it on there, I even take an extra hot glue and like almost caulk it on there. And then, again, this is if you're getting the kit and you're using these. So then what you're going to do is you're going to slide your pipe cleaner through and super glue. Can't even think of my own words. Hey Barbara, hey Linda. Thank you guys. You're going to slide your pipe cleaner through, and then that will attach, you know, it'll give you the way to attach your sign to the frame, okay? But I personally, if you have a staple gun, if you have one of these trusty little things here, I'm going to use that. But because I can't assume that everybody who's purchasing my kits have a staple gun, I do include the zip tie mounts, okay? Long explanation, but that's why I personally am not using them. But if you do use them, make sure you're caulking it extra hot glue, do all the extra things just to make sure. A little bit goes a long way. Don't use a lot of the super glue. Yes, that's a good point. That's a good point, Trisha. Hey Sherry. Okay, so we are going to do it my way, but I just showed you how to do it if you purchase the kit, all right? You get 2 of those, by the way. 1 goes on each side. All right, so I am going to take this trusty little backing to the ribbon spool. I'm going to cut it and give myself a little piece. Now, your sign, not quite a 1/4 of an inch. Your staples are a 1/4 of an inch, okay? So I'm doing this part. Obviously, you don't have to do it with the sticky mounts. I'm doing this part to add some depth to that sign, okay? I'm going to take my pipe cleaner. Now, in real life, I use wire just because wire is easier to go through all those layers of mesh because it's just one wire. Your pipe cleaner is 2 wires wound together. So it never fails. Those 2 little stinking wires split when you're trying to put them in the mesh. So it's annoying. But I'm going to use this because this is what comes with our kit. Okay. Again, if you're looking for this in a kit form, you can go over to learnfrommelissa.com and our kit section is right on the top. You just click there. All right. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to add pressure and 2. If you don't have one of these, I strongly recommend grabbing one, okay? The link to our staple, the one that we specifically use, can also be found over at learnfrommelissa.com. 1, 2. Okie dokie. I have issues with the zip tie mounts also, yeah. For a long time, I use them. So I'm not saying they're bad. I am not. I'm saying I had a couple of issues and I would rather just go with what I know hasn't given me any issues. That's me personally. Excuse me. All right, I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to put this away. We don't need that anymore. We already cut all of our mesh. All right, now we're going to get to it. Of course, you know our patent pending pancake wreath frame is so perfect. It has all the spots that you need for your pipe cleaners. Now you have a notch and a hole combination, and then you have some extra holes. Those extra holes that don't have a notch there, they are for like if you're making a big wreath, let's say, and you don't have enough pipe cleaner to go around the whole thing, you might just, if it's attached, let's say this, let's pretend this is attached to your sign, you might just find this little hole and put it through the hole, okay? Instead of putting your whole pipe cleaner all the way around, because you might not have, you know, with a bigger wreath, you might not have enough pipe cleaner. Or it does help you, like, for example, there are 2 here, 2 here, and 2 down here, okay? So what you could do is you could say, oh, I'm going to put my sign pipe cleaners through these 2. I'm going to put my bow pipe cleaner through this. So it is a guide. You don't have to use them. Hey, thank you very, very much, Lena. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to add our pipe cleaners exactly in the spots that the frame tells us. And we're going to do one extra special thing. We're going to put it in there and we're going to come out. We're going to make sure we tie it right along the edge. So not on top of the hole, not in the middle, but not in the notch, but on the edge. Does that make sense? I purchased the white coated 1/18 gauge on your supply list instead of the green. White is totally fine. It's, oh, it's way stiff too. Oh, really? I would recommend people order the green that you are using. Ooh. I wonder what the white coating did. All right, we're going to do that all the way around. So again, I just, by habit, I do the outside first and then the inside because that's how I assemble the wreath itself. When you finish making the wreath, can you show the back? Absolutely. Pam, you're going to have to remind me. I will forget, but yes. Someone help Pam remind me and I will show the back. Everybody is, I see everybody is getting in the creative coaching workshop. And then again, on the inside, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put that notch closer to the top. Now, this is why, okay? If I had those pipe cleaners going right over the hole, then all of my layers are going to be on the same wavelength. I want the layers to be separated a little bit, right? Everyone's getting excited for the workshop. We have our flights, we have our itineraries, the agenda is set, everybody's pre-recordeds are in there and available. We have some really cool tutorials going on. You know, I know a lot of you may be in the beginning. Hey, Joy. A lot of you might be in the beginning of your journey. However, you know, expanding and being able to offer other things can interest a wider range of your customers, right? So keep that in mind. The workshops are intended to inspire that very thing. So we have some design, we have some, I'm gonna get this out of the way. We have some design, we have some business, we have some all sorts of things. All right, everybody with me so far? Hey, Marina. Okay, let's start with our beautiful mesh. I love this. It's nice and soft, still good quality. Again, I already cut it at 20 inches. I showed you at the beginning. Make sure you're applying pressure because it does have that fabric in there, okay? So I'm going to go right up the center. Scrunch, 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 all the way up the center. Making sure that this is teeny tiny, okay? And then I'm going to go right in that outside. Take those pipe cleaners up, crisscross nice and tight, twist, twist. I don't need to twist anymore. Just get it in there nice and tight, twist, twist, overlap, overlap. Kind of snuggle those in. Oopsie, no. I have just enough room going on over here. Hey, Terry. Hi, Virginia. Hey, everyone. Okay. So again, scrunching right up the center. The kit, again, does come with the sign, the pipe cleaners, the mesh, the frame, the ribbons for your tails, the ribbons for your bow, and of course this video. You have an over the shoulder video here. I'm also recording above head so that you have that vision also, and that'll be uploaded over to our YouTube when we're done. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions on the workshop that we are hosting coming up? So next week, my house is on a little bit of, not high alert, but a little bit of nerves right now. Aaron's heart ablation is next week on Thursday. So next week I'll have a video in the creative coaching group instead of me live. Not only is it Aaron's heart ablation day, but Addison also has a concert, or her 5th grade concert, a big deal over at the high school. So I will have a recording for Thursday. And so everyone's kind of Aaron's a little uneasy about the ablation. So we're all just kind of taking it easy. First time live watcher. Hey, Lori, welcome. I have wonderful folks who will welcome you in. Is the wreath wooden? Yes, it is wooden. It's wooden. I will say this, Lori, if you don't have any protection where, you know, your front door just gets slammed with, you know, rain and all the things, it's a little bit protected by all the things that you have on top of it. And it is wooden, so it will not last forever out in the rain, unprotected. But also I'll say, you know, your wreaths usually go on your door for a season. They're not out there forever. Usually people are put, you know, different themes. So I have done my own little demonstration, my own little, not a demonstration, experiment, and on my own door, because I'm not protected. I have a tiny overhang. So I guess I am protected, but I don't have a whole porch. And every one I put out is completely fine for the season. Thank you very much, Virginia. How much is the kit and where do we go? If you go over to learnfrommelissa.com, it is the first link right at the top, and that will bring you to my section of kits available. So all of the kits will have a video just like this one. Okay, all right, perfect. Now, here is one thing that I offer, or I do with my kits. So your ribbon, excuse me, this cough is on its way out. We're thinking positive. It's on its way out. Okay, I've already gone ahead and I got our ribbons ready, okay? So I already pre-cut them. Here's how you know which is which. Number one, if you go to the listing on, you know, if you go to, Linda, can you make it all one word without spaces? And then I'll pin it. Please, thank you very much, dear. Thank you for the prayers for Aaron. That will help calm him. He's a little uneasy. Okay, so the kit comes with ribbons. So our kits in general come with ribbons for your bow, ribbons for your tails, okay? Here's how you know which is which. Number one, on the description where you purchase it, it will list ribbon 2.5 inch with watering cans, multicolor watering cans for the bow. Okay, that's number one. It'll say 2.5 inch yellow with white polka dots for ribbon tails. All right, that's number one. That's how you know number one. Number two is when you have it, if you're not looking at the listing, if you forget about that part, you just count. The bow ribbon has 1, 2, 3, 4, or sometimes 5 of these lengths. Okay, 4 or 5, right? So these all have 4. And then when you're doing the ribbon for the tails, there'll be 12. Okay, so different. You need 12 twist ties, 12 pieces of ribbon for your bow, for your tails. Boom. And you don't need that much for your, thank you very much. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just going to try to pin that. There we go, Trisha. Learnfrommelissa.com. Perfect. That'll take you right to our link, they call it link tree. And then right at the top, you'll see where you can get the kits. And then also you'll see where you can join us for the Creative Coaching Workshop. And then also, if you're interested in coming for a very private, exclusive, day-and-a-half mini retreat, Nancy Tompkins, if she's still here, she's coming. There is also the link there to check that out. I'm only taking 8 people for that retreat, and we already have 4 seats sold, so keep that in mind. Okay, so I'm going to set the bow aside because we don't need that right now. And this is that way for a reason. It's that way for, well, it's not that way for a reason, but I left it that way for a reason. I already pre-cut, so when you get the ribbons for your tails, remember you counted, pretend this is for the tails, you counted 12. Just slip your scissors right in there and cut the other side, just like that. That's all you got to do. You don't have to measure out individually. Don't take the time to do that. They were coiled at 14 inches, and if you just cut, it'll be just perfect. They won't all be exactly the same, exactly 14 inches, but it'll all be fine, I promise. So I always take the cute one and put it on top of the not cute, well, the supporter. So take your cutesy and put it on top of your supporter. If you guys are asking questions, I'm so sorry if I didn't answer them. Just ask again. And I, myself, or some of our helpers that are in here that know all the answers will help. Our mesh was at 20 inches. So number one, sometimes you get this ribbon, you get ribbon like this, and it's at the end of the spool, and sometimes it's wrinkled, and sometimes you're saying colorful words in your mind, right? You could iron it, or the easiest thing you could do is grab a, you know, the hair straighteners, right? Or just go shh, just like that. Put it, I got to make sure I remember to do this. I got to, you know what? I'm going to make a note right now. I always forget, and I need to order one. There we go. There, hopefully I won't forget for too long. Anyway, but if you have ribbon, if you're lazy like me, because I didn't do that, right? I'm going to put those ribbons on the bottom layer, and you will not see them. It will not be a thing. You will not notice. You will not see. Hey, Carol Ward. Okay, so 14 inches. We are welcoming all our new friends. So I put my favorite on the top, the supporter ribbon on the bottom, scrunch up the center. Now, everything comes out to the edge. Nothing goes inside for this particular design. Put it right down in there, crisscross. I twist these about 7 or 8 times. Now, as a wreath maker, if you're making more than one, if this is more than, you know, if you're making more than just for you, I don't want to keep picking up my wire cutter, setting it down. Put in the next one. Pick up my wire cutter, set it down. So I'm going to leave it like this until we get all the way around, and then I'll pick up my wire cutter and do all those things at once. Mel is the first person for me to follow and watch. She is awesome. Oh, Terry, awesome. Dollar Tree has a small one, perfect too. Oh, they do? Thanks, Virginia. I did not know that. I'll check that out too. Okay, so we're going to put on all our ribbons first. Now, I am going to try. So you see how this is a one-directional ribbon. Okay? So when I put it in, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do 2 things at once here. I'm trying to record over my shoulder also. So when we do, so this is a one-directional ribbon, right? So when I put it in, one is going to be looking at you the right way, and one's going to be upside down, which is fine. I just want to make sure I put those in the same way. So I want the one on the right to be the one that's looking at me right, and I want the one on the left to be the one that's going to be upside down. Once they're all in, it will blend, and then it will be totally fine. Even me with my OCD, it's fine. It's the ribbon that is one directional where it's going this way. So like if the boots were going this way, then I really try to put them in a very specific way on purpose. But when it's one directional like this, okay, I just make sure they're all in the same, they're going in the same direction. That makes sense? Do you say you can find on our YouTube page? Whose page? I'm referring to my page. There's no one else I would be referring to. I'm referring to Sincerely Creative Mom. Sincerely Creative Mom, y'all. Even though I am a coach inside the Creative Coaching Group, along with Deco Exchange and all the other coaches, when I refer to anything I'm doing, it is all Sincerely Creative Mom. Right? If it's otherwise, I'll tell you otherwise. However, everything that I am linked to, you can find over at learnfrommelissa.com. And then those will bring you to what branch you need to be at. So here we are again. Wrinkled. It's going to be fine. You can call it lazy. You can call it whatever. It's going to be fine. Debbie, that is a good question, though, because I know it could be confusing sometimes. Sincerely Creative Mom. Okay, now they're all in there. We want to see both ribbons, right? We want to see 2 ribbons, not just one. So the next thing I'm going to do, pick up my wire cutters first. I just stole it out of my husband's toolbox. I stole a couple of them from him. I lost my favorite one. And so then I just keep stealing more when he keeps replacing, and that's fine. It's just a wire cutter. This one's a little big for my hand. I don't really like it, but it's what I have because I keep forgetting to look for the other one. So now I can throw those out. I don't need that extra. Now here is another specific thing. Can you steam the ribbon by chance? Sure can. This one you can because it's a linen. Now the other types, right, could be satin, could be, some ribbons are like crinkly on purpose. So you want to pay attention to what the fabric is. As a fellow newbie, learnfrommelissa.com is the easiest. Yes, thank you. Joyce, you're not that new. I've seen you around and I remember your name. You are a veteran now. Okay, very important. Here's what I do. I take this extra and I fold it forward and then I kind of squash it. I push it. Because remember, we just twisted it to put the ribbon in, or mesh in, twisted it to put the ribbon in, and then twisted the top. I'm going to just kind of compact it a little bit, right? So I'm going to compact it here, put it all down, and then here's the most important part. Everyone has to do this. I'm going to lift and spread those apart and pull separate. That's exactly where my cutters came from and never missed. Oh, Carol. Okay. Up and down, side to side. Okay. Now, when I scrunch them all up, I'm like almost made them become one. And I need them to separate so that they can be their own again, right? I want to be able to see each of them without this ribbon going on top of this ribbon and totally covering up, right? Okay. So I want to do that all the way around, and I want to make sure as I go around, I'm doing the same thing over and over again. So I'm pulling the yellow out. Now I don't care which one you pull out to the right, but you just want to make sure you're always doing the same, right? If I'm pulling it out to the right, I want to make sure I'm always pulling out to the right. And then that way, when I look at it, I'm seeing polka dots, boots, polka dots, boots, polka dot boots, polka dot all the way around. Does that make sense? So that I don't have, and here's why. So that I don't have, if I have them chunked together, boots, boots, yellow, yellow, your eye starts to stop, right? So it's not looking at the whole thing, you know, blended easily. It starts to stop in these chunks. And that's not what we want. So we want them to be, in my opinion, you can do whatever you want. We want them to be separate. I don't know if you guys saw the two wreaths I just recently made, the grapevines. They already sold online. I'm sorry, on Etsy. And I know they didn't sell, well, I'm assuming they didn't sell from my post. I'm assuming they found me on Etsy, just found me on Etsy, because I didn't see the share and save savings there for me on my end. Okay, so now we have our first layer in. You can see all of the ribbons. Good. Lift and separate. Yes. Like the old Playtex commercial? Carol? I don't know. I don't know. Hi, Tina. Okay. All right, we're going in with our next layer directly on top. Okay. Directly. What's going on over here? Oh, this is gotta come off of there. It's coming up. I don't know how that happens, but sometimes my stickers just get... Okay, so I'm going to go directly up, and we're going to scrunch, do all the exact same things. Again, you can find this whole thing as a kit, along with other kits available in our shop. If you are buying more than one at one time, we are fair, okay? We do refund shipping on excess. So whatever your weight ends up being, even if you're buying 3, it might be a bigger box. So whatever your weight and size ends up being, if it's more than what you paid, we do refund those. And if you're buying 2 at a time, 3 at a time, there's always a refund, okay? So just keep that in mind. Okay, right down on top. Just real gentle. Now you start to see, hey Monica, you start to see these 2 layers, the mesh overlap, okay? So now this one is completely overlapping that one, making it less to see the frame, right? And then you have the ribbon, then you have the sign. So, you got to trust the process as you're putting these in. Because when you first put that first layer in and then you put your ribbons on and you're like, I can still see that frame. This lady's crazy. Just trust me. Okay. I still want to make all of my fireplace, mantle, St. Patrick's Day stuff with y'all. I feel like I've had an appointment every single day, or a meeting every single day. I'm trying to do the best I can. Trying to do the best I can. That's all you can do. Tomorrow morning, super early, I have a post that's already scheduled, it's already written, it's already scheduled. Please remember this in the morning. Go read that post. Okay? It's scheduled for tomorrow morning. It's scheduled for, what's today? Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? It's scheduled for Wednesday morning. It's really good. Melissa just joined. Where did you get the pink and white mesh? It is all part of our wreath kit. So it comes all together. So I bought it from my supplier in bulk, and it comes in the wreath kit. It's really cute. Today's Tuesday. Okay, so tomorrow, Wednesday morning. Just remember that. Wednesday morning when you wake up, you're like, oh yeah, Melissa said there was this post I had to go read. I want you to read it and read it again. I've been thinking about, I'm going to be on stage at Wreath Makers Live in July. And I've been thinking about, we kind of have a topic that we're supposed to be talking about. And so I've been thinking about that over and over and over again. And it goes really well with all the changes that I've been working on in my life. So if you need permission or if you need to hear some really good words, check out that post tomorrow morning. Okie dokie. Can I order mesh only? I don't sell mesh. And from where I get it, you got to buy the case. You can find a list of our favorite retailers and suppliers over at learnfrommelissa.com though. Same thing all the way in, and then I'm going to do the same thing. Then we're going to make a bow, we're going to put our sign on, and we're going to be done. Y'all, I have to like go warp speed and get some things for our boutique because I've neglected them so bad. I feel horrible. I still haven't even picked up Valentine's Day stuff. Wow. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Trisha, if you're listening, I apologize. Okay. All right. There we go. Okay, I have all that extra off. Then, of course, we're going to do the same thing. Push that down. Now, here, I'm not gonna only push it down and compact it straight. I'm going to kind of push it in a little bit. That's going to help separate those two layers there. Okay? It's going to help separate those two layers. I picked up Valentine's Day yesterday and dropped off some spring. Very good, Nancy. Push that in. Okay. So then by pushing that down and kind of into the center, it does help separate those layers. Plus, remember remember going back to the Y, you tied that pipe cleaner when you first put it in close to the notch on this side of the edge of the wreath frame, and then that outside one close to the edge on this side, giving us a nice separation here with our layers, right? So every little tiny thing helps, and every little tiny detail can help make a difference, right? So for the workshop, I made a boutonniere quietly by myself, and then I recorded it so that I would have like a good, smooth tutorial. I did the same thing for the corsage, which by the way, did you see the corsage? Hold on, did you see this? Isn't that cute? I love that so much. It's a little more expensive. I had to make 65 corsages, but it's a little more expensive than the original thing I used for the girls for the daddy-daughter dance. Plus, the wristband that I used for that was adjustable, and the pearls are not. But for my thick little wrist, those pearls felt really good. And, you know what also? Sorry, I'm just continuously talking. It's fine. In your town, and maybe you don't know this, because I don't know it about my town. I just made a post in our city group asking. In your town, do girls take bouquets to prom? I guess that's a new thing in the South. Like bright colors to match their dress. Is that by you? I know Texas is big on mums and those great big giant, things that hang from their necks. But I never heard of the oh, so cute. I never heard of the bouquets. Where did you get the base? Teresa, the actual frame, there's a link to the frame. If you go over to learnfrommelissa.com, there's a link to the frame. Or you can just go to thepancakeframe.com. Thepancakeframe.com. That'll bring you directly to the frame. All right, so the kit that we're working on here, I'm hearing about the bouquets. Really, Carol, I did not know that. Yes, we do it up north. Teresa, where are you from? The kit is, I can't remember whether it's 47 or 48 plus shipping. But keep in mind, when you buy two, which I think that's what most people have been doing today, when you buy two, your shipping is discounted. So keep that in mind. It won't be discounted at checkout. We will refund the shipping back when we are shipping. Okay. I sell my pancake wreaths for $99 plus shipping on Etsy. All right. So for our bow, Philadelphia. Ooh, I didn't know that. All right, I'm going to start a trend here. I'm going to start it. Thank you, Carol. Sweet Carol. Carol, will I see you in a couple weeks? I feel like I really could need a hug. All right. The bow, the ribbon for the bow comes with. So we're going to go 7 inches on the tail, 6 inches on the loop. Now, I use a bow maker because I can't keep the bow in my hand the whole time, because even though I've lost 64.2 pounds, I still have pretty bad carpal tunnel. So we're going to keep putting our layers in individually. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there. Twist. Come up for our next loop. Take my finger off. Make my next loop. Hi, Marcia. Here in Northwest Pennsylvania, the girls do bouquets. Awesome! Yes, indeed. Oh, I'm so happy, Carol. That makes me so happy. They do bouquets to prom in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Really? All right. I'm gonna make it a thing here in Michigan if it's not. Okay, I know I talked through that, but here's what we're gonna do. Every single layer is the same, okay? 2 loops. It's not the same exactly. 2 loops, 2 tails, and 1 loop. So every layer has 2 loops on one side. Every layer has 2 tails on the other side with 1 loop. Okay? So we have 4 ribbons. Let's talk through this for just a minute. We have 4 ribbons. I brought in the teal from the teal edging here, which was perfect. Some of the boots are teal. The boot here is teal. Brought in the teal. Love it. I have the teal in this boot. Of course, I brought in the boots here. Different than the boots here, but totally coordinates. Love it. I brought in the plaid because y'all know I love me some plaid, right? Love the plaid, and it had all the colors. It had that teal. It had the purple. It had the pink. It had the yellow. All the colors, so definitely goes. And then I had these 3 at first, and I was like, man, I really just want something a little bit brighter, but not too bright. I couldn't do a plaid. I didn't really want polka dots, and I didn't have yellow polka dots. And this worked out perfectly. It's more white than yellow, but that yellow is so bright, it's just perfect. It's a great blend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the 2.5 inch, then the plaid, then the yellow, then the boots. Y'all can do whatever you want for yours, right? I want the yellow in there just before the top to just bring that brightness right up to the top of that bow. That's my opinion. Okay? That's my opinion. Y'all can do whatever you want. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So we're going to keep going. And here's what I mean by similar, the same but different. From this layer, 7 inches on the tail, 6 inches on the loop, everything is going to get a little tiny bit smaller. So, and I mean a tiny bit, 1/4 inch, right? 1/4 inch smaller. So I'm going to go about 6 3/4. 6 3/4. I'm going to go about 5 3/4. right? Everything just gets a little tiny bit smaller as we go. How do you stop the mesh from fraying? Number one, you really don't. Number two, you can get really good at camouflage, because if you didn't see that mesh fraying, it definitely was. You can get really good at camouflage. Number three, make sure you are using now I'm not saying don't use the scissors, okay? But to help it from fraying, you want to make sure you're cutting in a straight line. When you're using a scissors, sometimes you're cutting on an edge, right? So that helps it fray, okay? So use a rotary cutter, a self-healing mat, and apply pressure. We did this at the beginning, so you can see. Apply pressure when you are cutting, okay? That will help it not fray as much. But it is a woven material. When you cut it, it will fray, period. Okay? Can you see my comments? Yeah, sorry. Tanya, if you said anything before and I missed it, I'm so sorry, but I can see that one. My comments are up here, and I'm looking this way, so I'm sorry. I'm kind of looking up and over my shoulder every so often. Okay, here we go. Oh, let's before we do that, let's fan this out so you kind of get the idea, right? Okay, I'm going to go and do the next one a little bit smaller. I am doing good, Ruth. I'm having a really good day, actually. The mesh type is, it's like a fabric. I don't know what the actual thing says on the, I threw it away already. Pinch, twist, and loop. Pinch and twist. Tanya, I'm watching for you. Got any questions I can see? Love this blend. It's so bright and cheerful. Okay, last one, coming in with those cutie pie little boots. Cutie pie little boots. Same thing. Now, this one, just a little bit different. So, I like to add what I call, which is what I call it, I like to add a little button loop on the top. And that little tiny loop on the top just helps hide my pipe cleaner, my zip tie, whatever you're putting in there to hold the boat all together. It just hides that part, all right? So I'm just going to put in my tail. My first loop is about 2.5, 3 inches. It's little. 2.5, 3 inches. It's little. Hi, Esther. Pinch. I know, Ruth. Thank you. I love it. Twist. Now, here's my normal size loop. So this is just a little tiny one. It doesn't count as my 3 loops. Pinch. Twist. Loop. Pinch. Twist. I would suggest, if you're getting this as a kit and it's your very first time making a wreath, I would suggest this. Okay, here's my 2 loops. Here's my 2 loops. I'm going opposite. So I'm not paying attention to this. This doesn't count as my loop count. If you're getting this as a kit and it's your very first time, I would suggest this. The rest of your mesh, cut your first 12 pieces 20 inches long and set those aside. And then if this is your very first time, or if you need practice with mesh, cut another piece 20 inches because you have this much left and practice with it. That way, because once you practice with it, I'm going to show you here in 1 second. Side note, just give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you. This is just me just showing, okay? Now look, you saw me cut, I told you, and it's fraying. It is definitely fraying, okay? If I ruffle this, okay? If I ruffle it and then I'm like, oh, that doesn't look good, okay? And then I undo it, it's going to start to get even worse. So don't practice with what you're going to put in your wreath, But also, before we put our bow on, I want you to see, even though every single little piece of that mesh was fraying, you see I overlapped, I put the ribbon on, we're going to put the sign on, we're going to put the bow on, and the mesh itself, any part that was fraying, other than Pam wanted to see the back, this is the back, other than the back, right, you might see fraying parts here. On the front, where everybody sees, you don't see that, okay? Are the loops smaller and the tails getting smaller? Yes. Everything gets a little bit smaller as I go up to the top of those layers. Melissa, Melissa, on the zip tie tool, what number do you have your set on? Number? Hold on. There's a setting? I don't have a number. I have a scrolly thing here, but I'm not sure. It doesn't have a number. But I will say this. When you have your pipe cleaner or your zip tie, okay, your zip tie, the teeth part, that teeth part has to touch the teeth. Okay? It has to line up. So the bottom, where the teeth are, where the rigid edge is, has to touch where the rigid edge. It's got to go rigid edge to rigid edge. And then it, whoa. Come on, Melissa. Are you serious? You get the point, right? Now you know why my stuff is downstairs and the kids are upstairs. All right. So I'm going to take our... Is this helping? Is this helping? I appreciate you guys for being here in the morning. Really, it's still morning. Okay. All right, I'm going to lift this up. Before I lift it all the way up, I just scrunch it and lift. I'm going to set this aside. Take my pipe cleaner and go right on the top. From the top to the bottom. I don't care that I squish it. It is fine. Tanya, you want to do the exclamation point and the word notify. So it's got to look like this. It's got to look like this. Exclamation. All one word. That's probably backwards to you. I apologize. But it's got to be all one word. Above the scrolling thing, I have numbers for setting. Thank you for your help. Sorry. The last set of loops confused me. So all I did was add one. It's the same as this. I just added one little extra loop first. Same as this. Same as all the other loops. Or all the other layers. I just added this extra. Okay. Now, when I put the bow in, I'm going to leave it just like this for now, and then we're going to put it in and fluff it. But when I put the bow in this particular design, the pancake wreath, okay, that bow, that layer that had the first tails, the first layer with the tails, that part is the longest part of your bow. So I'm going to put that in so that those tails come down, right? I don't want them going up into my sign, right? I'm going to put them in so they come down. Let's get that thing in, okay? The idea of the sign is to make sure you are covering. So my favorite size sign for a pancake wreath, favorite size is the 6 by 12. It could be metal, it could be wood, I don't care, but 6 by 12 is my favorite, and here's why. Because it will cover 1, 2, 3, 4 pipe cleaners, and you want it to cover those pipe cleaners. We don't want to see what's left over. We don't want to see those. So it'll cover those perfectly. And then the bow will go where we have left, and we'll fluff that out so it's round, okay? So I'm going to take my sign. I'm not worried about the petals. Not petals. What are they? I'm not worried about these right now. I'll deal with those at the very end. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and go right directly through the mesh. So I want to make sure, And as soon as I get them both through, I'm saying some colorful words in my head because it'll, oh, that one got right through. And no colorful words. All right, let's try this one. You're going to go through all those layers of mesh. And remember we talked about at the beginning that pipe cleaner is 2 pieces of wire wound together, coiled together, and it always, never fails, one piece always gets stuck, like this is, I'm having trouble, always gets stuck on a piece of that fabric or that mesh. All right, I got both through, so let's turn it over. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I have it in place. I'm going to turn it over, okay? Set it down gently so that that sign doesn't move. Now here's my pipe cleaner. Here's my pipe cleaner. They both kind of came in at the same spot. They both kind of came in under here. But I took this one and kind of snuck it underneath that frame so I can have one on both sides so I can attach it. Now you see, I'm close to those extra things that we talked about at the beginning. I could use them if I want, and now I don't have to if I don't want to. So I'm going to take this and tightly, I'm going to pull it around the frame. I'm twisting it on the side on purpose so that I can tuck this in and under, and I don't have to worry about it being pokey. It's all perfect. Does that make sense? Ribbon tails, sorry. What'd I call them? Petals? It's fine. You know what I was talking about. Okay, and then I'm going to go on the other side and do the same thing right where I am. So I'm not pushing the mesh out of the way as much as I would like to, because going through with a pipe cleaner can sometimes make me want to climb the wall. I'm not pushing the mesh out of the way. Putting that pipe cleaner right through the mesh where it is helps the mesh stay in place, helps the sign. Look at that. I got lucky. Woohoo. That's a good day. All right. Pull those through nice and tight. Same thing. Push it over. Make sure it's nice and tight. Y'all, I thought after I had surgery that I would be hungry less. That was the biggest lie that I ever told myself. I am hungry every single 2 hours, which means I have to make good choices every single 2 hours. Okay? Perfect. All right? Now, while I'm here, you see this is fraying. It's fraying. There's just no way of getting around it. It's fine. While I'm here, let's go ahead and add, no, sorry. We're going to add our bow. Okay. Oh, I know. I was going to say, while we're here, look at the back. I know Pam wanted to see the back. Nice and clean. Okay. Nice and clean. Not stuff kind of going anywhere. It's just perfect. All right. All right, so let's add our bow. Perfect spot for our bow. Now, bow's going to come in here. It's going to go up over the sign a little bit, which is perfect. I love it like that. That's why I make the bows the size I do, because I want the bow to go over the sign a little bit. Okay. I'm going to take my pipe cleaners and go right through, right in the center, right through so that it gets to the frame. So I'm going to attach, just like I attach the sign to the frame, I'm going to attach the bow to the frame, okay? Any questions? This is a kit. You can find it over in our shop. You go to learnfrommelissa.com. Right at the top, there will be a link that says Wreath Kits. It'll bring you to the section in our shop that has kits. And I'll also say this. I got a message from a sweet gal, and she thought she went to Etsy, and she thought she typed in Sincerely Creative Mom, and she found a kit that she liked, and she purchased. And she thought wrong, and she had purchased from us before, so she was impressed with our packing, our shipping, the video, all that stuff. And so she reached out to me, and she's like, I'm so sad. I thought it was you, and it wasn't, and this and this and this and this and this and other. So make sure, if you're looking for kits from us, make sure you click on that specific link, okay? So the bow, same thing, underneath, and then I just squished it. It's fine. And then 2 more things to go. I'm going to make sure I spread that ribbon apart for the bow. And what I'm doing here is I'm making sure, remember how we put it in the Easy Bow Maker where it was we went kind of like a pattern, right? So I went, this is the first layer, the second layer, the third layer, the fourth layer. So I took 1, 1, 1. Number 2 went in between the 1s, right? Number 3 went in between the 2s. Where am I? Yep. Right? Number 4 went in between the 3s. So I'm just laying them in there so that I can see all of those ribbons, not just one on top of the other. And then I'll make sure I put a nice little flare on the ribbon. So stinking cute. Love, love, love. Now, the last thing, we're going to go around and fix our ribbon tails. Etsy makes it difficult to find a specific shop. That's because a lot of people use other shop names in their tags, and they should not do that. So if you type Sincerely Creative Mom, if you go into Etsy and you're looking for a specific shop, you don't put spaces in it. So if you go to Etsy, if you just go to Etsy and you're looking for me, you can type in my name, but you can't put any spaces in it, and then it'll come up. But if you click on my links, that helps me save money for the Etsy fees. So that's why I tell you to go to learnfrommelissa.com. All right, last thing, I'm going to go around and make sure. Remember I said all those ribbons that were folded and needed to be, you know, I was being lazy and they needed to be ironed, steamed, whatever. Remember I said you won't see it, you won't see it, you won't see it. Here's what I mean. That first layer it's underneath the second layer, right? So you don't see that first layer, and as long as the ribbons that are on my top layer aren't, you know, in need of some care, you don't even see it. No one's going to look up under and be like, oh, this is, no. And once it gets on their door, especially if they're using that door, the ribbons aren't going to look exactly like we placed them here anyways. They're, you know, they do get messed up. These aren't metal, they move, right? With the suction of the door opening and closing. This is so fun. I love it. Look at that. Isn't that it's so cute? And I'm sorry, it's backwards. It's so cute. So the design itself helps fit between the main door and storm door. And you can see kind of flat other than where that bow is. It is adorable. Super, super duper cute. You can totally do this. Again, this is a kit. It is available. There's several other kits that you'll be seeing me make. Either I'll be sending you in the newsletter with the links to the finished product, which would be the video over on our YouTube, or you'll see me live here. But over the next couple days, you'll see all of them because the videos do have to be complete so that when you get your wreath kit, you have the video to it. So this is the video. For this one, again, I did record overhead, so the overhead version will also be available on our YouTube, which I'm going to say bye to my YouTube folks right now. Bye, bye, bye.